Hello viewers, welcome back to another video. It's 3rd of July, 12:54 a.m. at night, and I got a bit late because I was doing nothing, and but I thought of doing this. Instead of doing nothing, I came here and started to record. I'm going to start. Yeah, I have to tell you about the book I'm going to read today, and the book is something that I was told to by my JEE Mains chemistry teacher in my coaching. He was a really nice guy. He had Rottweiler. Even though he taught online, he was always available to us. And his name was Amit sir. He lived in Amritsar. Yeah, that was not a joke. It was the reality. His name was Amit. Was it Amit? Yeah, it was Amit. His name must be stored in my Telegram group. Let me check once. Amit or Kuldeep, something like that. I don't even remember it clearly, but he was a really nice guy, very sweet and humble guy. And he told me about this book, and he told everyone should give it a read once in their life. He was reading it then, and it was really inspiring for him. Yeah, his name was Arpit Sharma. Yes, Arpit Sharma. So the name of the book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Coelho. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me search it up. He is a Brazilian lyricist and novelist. Pronunciation.
Paulo Coelho.
Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho. It's like the typical Brazilian Spanish name. Yeah. So this is how the books look like. The book looks like. I hope it's visible. It must be. Yeah. Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho. This is what he looks like. Paulo Coelho was born in Brazil and has become one of the most widely read and loved authors in the world, especially renowned for The Alchemist and 11 Minutes. He has sold more than 140 million books worldwide and has been translated into 72 languages. This recipient of numerous prestigious international awards, the recipient of numerous prestigious international awards, among the Crystal Award by the World Economic Forum and France Legion Legion d'Honneur. Legion d'Honneur. Paulo Coelho. Paulo Coelho. 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 Paulo Coelho.
Paulo Coelho.
Yeah, Paulo Coelho. Coelho was inducted into the Brazilian Academy of Letters in 2002. He writes a weekly column syndicated throughout the world. Paulo Coelho. It's a very unique book. It's not really big and it's very niche, and I'm thankful that my teacher gave it gave us the opportunity to read this book. Let's hope for the best and hope that we get to learn a lot from this book. Yeah, let's start the timer for 21 minutes as always. Yeah. Author's note. I remember receiving a letter from the American publisher HarperCollins which said that reading The Alchemist was like getting up at dawn and seeing the sun rise while the rest of the world is still slept. It's a very good depiction of his thoughts and his feelings. Rest of the world is still slept. I went outside, looked up at the sky, and thought to myself, so the book is going to be translated. At the time, I was struggling to establish myself as a writer. Hmm. At the time, I was struggling to establish myself as a writer, and I tried to follow my path despite all the voices telling me it was impossible. And little by little, my dream was becoming reality. 10, 100, 1,000, or millions of copies were sold in America. One day, a Brazilian journalist phoned to say that President Clinton had been read, read, photographed reading the book. Some time later, when I was in Turkey, I opened the magazine Vanity Fair and there was Julia Roberts declaring that she had adored the book. Writing, walking alone down the street in Miami, I heard a girl telling her mother, "You must read The Alchemist." The book has been translated into 61 languages and has sold more than 30 million copies worldwide. And people are beginning to ask what's the secret behind such a huge success. The only honest opinion, the only honest response is that I don't know. All I know is that, like Santiago, the shepherd boy, we all need to be aware of our personal calling. Okay, what is a personal calling? It's a God blessing. It is the path that God chose for you here on earth. Whenever you do something that fills us with enthusiasm, we are following our legend. However, we don't all have the courage to confront our own dream. Why? However, we don't have the courage to confront our own dream. Why? There are four obstacles. First, we are told from childhood onwards that everything we want to do is impossible. We grow up with this idea, and as the years accumulate, so do the layers of prejudice, fear, and guilt. There comes a time when our personal calling is so deeply buried into our soul as be personal calling is so deeply buried in our soul as to be invisible, but it's still there. If we have the courage to listen to our dream, we are then faced by the second obstacle, love. We know what we want to do, but we are afraid of hurting those around us by abandoning everything in order to pursue our dream. We do not realize that love is just a further impetus, not something that will prevent us from going forward, and that those who genuinely wish us well want to be happy and are prepared to accompany us on that journey. Once we have accepted that love is stimulus, we come up against the third obstacle. What is stimulus? There are some hard words. Let me search it up once. Impetus. Impetus. Driving force. Let me write it down. Impetus means driving force. not something that will prevent us going forward. And those who genuinely wish us well, want us to be happy, and are prepared to accompany us on that journey. Once we have accepted that love is stimulus, something that can cause an action. What's the dictionary? Okay. Love as stimulus. We come up against the third obstacle, fear of the defeats. We will meet on the path. We will meet on the path. What's that? Yeah. Meet on the path. We who fight for our dream suffer far more when it doesn't work out. We who fight for our dream suffer far more when it doesn't work out because we cannot fall back on the old excuse. Oh well, I didn't really want it anyway. We who fought for our dream suffer far more when it doesn't work out because we cannot fall back on the old excuse. Oh well, I didn't really want it anyway. We do want it and know the path. We have stalked everything on it. We have staked everything on it. Do want it and know that we have staked everything on it, and that the path of the personal calling is no easier than any other path, except that our whole heart is into this journey. Then the warriors of light must be prepared to have patience in difficult times and to know that universe is conspiring in our favor, even though we may not understand how. I ask myself, are defeats necessary? Well, necessary or not, they happen. When we first begin fighting for our dreams, we have no experience and make many mistakes. The secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. So, why is it so important to live out personal calling if we are only going to suffer more than other people? If we are only going to suffer more than other people, because once we have overcome the defeats, and we always do, we are filled with great sense of euphoria and confidence. In the silence of our hearts, we know that we are proving ourselves worthy of the miracle of life. Each day, each hour is part of the good fight. We start to live with enthusiasm and pleasure. Intense, unexpected suffering passes more quickly. Intense, unexpected suffering passes more quickly than suffering that is apparently bearable. The latter goes on. The latter goes on for years and without our noticing eats away at our soul until one day we are no longer able to from the bitterness feel ourselves from the bitterness, and it stays with us for the rest of our lives. Having disinterred having disinterred our dreams disinterred our dreams. What does disinterred means? Disinterred means to have dug up, removed, or taken something out of the ground. Having disinterred, how do we pronounce it?
Disinterred.
Disinterred. Having disinterred our dream, having used the power of love to nurture it and spent many years living with the scars, we suddenly notice that we always wanted that what we always wanted is there, waiting for us, perhaps the very next day. Then comes the fourth obstacle, the fear of realizing the dream for which we have been fighting for all our lives. Huh? The fear of realizing the dream for which we have been fighting all our lives. Realizing the dream for which. Then comes the fourth obstacle, the fear of realizing the dream for which. Realizing the dream for which we have been fighting all our lives. What's the fourth? I don't understand the fourth obstacle. Oscar Wilde said, "Each man kills the thing he loves," and it's true. The mere possibility of getting what we want fills the soul of the ordinary person with guilt. We look around at all those who have failed to get what they want and feel that we do not deserve to get what we want either. We forget about all the obstacles we overcame, all the suffering we endured, all the things we had to give up in order to get this far. I have known a lot of people who, when their personal calling was within their grasp, went on to commit a series of stupid mistakes and never reached their goal when it was only a step away. This is the most dangerous of the obstacles because it has a kind of saintly aura about it, renouncing joy and conquest. But if you believe yourself worthy of the thing you fought so hard to get, then you become an instrument of God. You help the soul of the world and you understand why you are here. Paulo Coelho. What's the last obstacle? Realizing the dream for which we have been fighting all our lives. The mere possibility of getting what we want fills the soul, of, of the ordinary person with guilt. We look around at all those who have failed to get what they want and feel that we do not deserve to get what we want either. I don't understand this line. The mere possibility. The fear of success and the guilt of realizing our dreams. That fills with guilt. We look at those who haven't achieved their goals and feels undeserving, forgetting the sacrifices obstacles. Explain the fourth obstacle, please. When we are close to succeeding, we feel bad because others have failed. Why would I feel bad when I'm close to succeeding? We feel bad because others have failed, feeling unworthy. We start to think that we don't deserve to be happy. Out of our guilt, we accidentally ruin our own success right at the end. Why is this tricky? The fake goodness, giving up on dreams, can look like a good, unselfish thing to do. The reality, it is just fear hiding behind a nice excuse. You must believe you deserve good things. Achieving your dreams do not hurt others. It actually inspires them. Would you like to learn about the three obstacles in simple words? No, I did understood it. Each man kills the things he loves. And it's true, the mere possibility of getting what we want fills the soul of the ordinary person with guilt. Very good line. We look around at all those who have failed to get what they want and feel that we don't deserve to get what we want either. We forget about all the obstacles we overcame, all the suffering we endured, all the things we had to give up in order to get this far. I have known a lot of people who, when their personal calling was within their grasp, went on to commit a series of stupid mistakes and never reached their goal when it was only one step away. It's the most dangerous of the obstacle because it has a kind of saintly aura. By the saintly aura, he means it has a, it feels like you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing by not choosing the success. Saintly aura about it, renouncing joy and conquest. But if you still believe yourself worthy of the thing you fought so hard to get, then you become an instrument of God. You help the soul of the world and you understand why you are here. Mm, nice. Now I'll start with the prologue. Okay. Translated by Margaret Jill Costa. Yeah. The alchemist picked up the alchemist picked up a book that someone in the caravan had bought. The alchemist. Who is the alchemist? I think it must be the writer. A person who practices alchemy, a historical pseudo-scientific pursuit aimed at transforming base metals like lead into gold, discovering a universal cure for disease, and finding a means for extending life. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist. I have watched an anime named Full Metal Alchemist, and they made circles and all that, transformed stuff, energy. The alchemist picked up a book that someone in the caravan had bought. Leafing through the pages, he found a story about this Narcissus. 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 Genius of spring blooming plants. Story about Narcissus. The alchemist knew about
Narcissus.
Narcissus. The alchemist knew about the legend of Narcissus, a youth who knelt daily beside a lake to contemplate his own beauty. He was so fascinated by himself that one morning he fell into the lake and drowned. At the spot where he fell, a flower was born, which was called the narcissus. This was hmm, by this, but this was not how the author of the book ended the story. He said that when Narcissus died, the goddess of the forest appeared and found the lake which had been fresh water transformed into a lake of salty tears. Why do you weep? The goddess asked. I weep for Narcissus, the lake replied. Oh, it's no surprise that you weep for Narcissus, they said. For thought we always pursued him in the forest. We always pursued him in the forest. You alone could contemplate his beauty close at hand. But was Narcissus beautiful? The lake asked. Who better than you to know that? The goddess said in wonder. After all, it was by your banks that he knelt each day to contemplate himself. What? When Narcissus died, the goddess of forest appeared and found the lake, which had been fresh water transformed into. Why do you weep? I weep for Narcissus. The lake replied, Ah, you are not surprised. It's no surprise that you weep for Narcissus, they said. For though we always pursued him in the forest, you alone could contemplate his beauty close at hand. The lake was silent for some time. Finally it said, I weep for Narcissus, but I never noticed that Narcissus was beautiful. I weep because each time he knelt beside my banks, I could see the depth of his eyes. In the depth of his eyes, my own beauty reflected. What a lovely story, the alchemist thought. See, let me pause the timer. What I am understanding by reading this book, it's a series of what do we call it? Stories with morals, which you have to find the meaning by yourself. So, what's the moral of this story? I think that's what the book is about. It's about stories. At least this is The Alchemist Prologue. This twist turns the tale from a warning about vanity into a study of perspective and self centeredness. The lake love was actually self love, and the story suggests that finding the soul of the world requires looking beyond oneself. The prologue introduces the epho- eponymous, eponymous character who finds this version of the story lovely. hinting at his appreciation for deeper, less obvious truths. Just as the story shifts, the book is about transforming one's life and understanding not just transforming one's life and understanding not just physical beauty. The Alchemist. Part 1. The boy name was Santiago. Dusk was falling as the boy arrived with his herd at an abandoned church. The roof had fallen long ago. The roof had fallen in long ago, and an enormous sycamore had grown on the spot where the scarcity had once stood. Just all these